right, thank you all for tuning in to WJC LP 98.3 FM. And I'm your host, Jeff Badu. And with that, let me just go ahead and for some reason, it looks like Instagram Live sometimes gives us some trouble. So let's just restart the Instagram Live real quick. Of course, technology never works when we wanted to, right? But we always have to conquer no matter what. So today we're going to talk about how to buy an apartment building, up to a 4-unit apartment building with no money down. So let me get this Instagram Live set up because I want to make sure nobody misses this information. So how to buy an apartment building with no money down. And so let's go ahead and get that going on Instagram. There we go. All right. Thank you for patiently waiting for those that are on Facebook. So let me go ahead and get the lighting all nice and squared away here. Definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in to WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. And with that, shout out to Andre. Andre is on Facebook. Yeah, if you can, just like and share this video. It's always greatly appreciated. So if you can like and share it, you know, it's always greatly appreciated. Let me make sure the lighting is good on Instagram. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone that's joining us on Facebook. Then we also got folks on Instagram. Today, my Instagram camera is to my right. Facebook camera straight ahead. And we're live on the radio, WGHC LP, Chicago, 98.3 FM. And you can also tune in anywhere around the world by visiting our website, WGHCradio.org, assuming that you're not already listening to Facebook or Instagram. So every Monday, we're live on our show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. If you can, please comment where you're listening from. All right, that's always greatly appreciated. So just comment where you're listening from. If you can like and share this video, it always helps to get this information to more people. Remember, today we're talking about how to buy an apartment building with no money down, 4-unit apartment building with no money down, utilizing programs that are available to basically all of us, right? So, okay, we got Jackie's from Istanbul. Wow, okay, we're international, I see. Absolutely. Yeah, so if you can like and share this video, it always helps. And then also, if you basically you ultimately, you know, so if you can like and share, it's always greatly appreciated. And also just comment where you're listening from. Shout out to Rob Gill. He said that money talks and it has no emotion. Absolutely. All right. And then we got D Travel says checking in from Idaho. Shout out to Idaho. Absolutely. All right. So before we get into the topic, as usual, we like to spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Right. We're live here every Monday. We like to spend about 5 to 10 minutes just going through a quick market report, just to see how the market is doing. So we always like to spend 5 to 10 minutes before the topic, and then we'll get right into the actual show, the main show, you called it. All right, so let's look at the markets as of July 9th, 2021. Let's see what happened. So the holiday shortened week can be described as volatile. Some observers suggest investors may be retreating from stocks over uncertainties surrounding the pace of economic recovery, coupled with easing inflation expectations. All right, let me repeat that one more time. So basically, investors are retreating from stocks, meaning the stock market went down, because of the fact that there's uncertainties around the pace of economic recovery. We don't know where we're going. Are we going up? Are we going down? Are vaccines helping? Are they not? Is there another wave of COVID coming around? And then also with easing inflation expectations. They don't know, right? That's what investors do. They never know. For much of the week, stock values rode a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, right? While treasuries prices climbed ultimately. So the stock market, as you would have already predicted, if you know how to read stocks very well, didn't look too good, right, on last Monday. All right, so last Monday, it was closed in observance of Independence Day. Happy belated 4th of July, you know, for those who are in America. So let's see here. And looks like the Russell 2000 went down 1.4%. The Dow Jones dropped 0.6%. The global Dow went down 1.1%. And then I would also say the S&P 500 went down 0.2%. Only the NASDAQ, by the way, the NASDAQ is mainly composed of technology stocks such as Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, right? The NASDAQ ultimately went up 0.2%. And if you're just tuning in, welcome to WJC LP 98.3 FM. I'm your host, Jeff Badu, and this is your show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. And I definitely love it coming on every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Central and talking to you guys, giving you guys free game when it comes to money and wealth building. Remember, this is the show, Money Talks. All we talk is money. We're live on the radio, 98.3 FM in Chicago. And you can feel free to check out my website, which is jeffbadu.com. And you can also, you can reach out to me at any time. And shout out to the Infinite Wealth course, which you can get that on my website or on my in my bio. There's a link in my bio. And if you guys enter the code today, WEALTH, enter the code WEALTH, you get 15% off on the course. All right, absolutely. Shout out to Sweet Keese, or should I say Queese? All right. She said, "Hey Jeff," absolutely. All right, so let's talk about Wednesday. Right. So last Tuesday, the market was down. Basically, stock market was down because of all the uncertainties that was happening. Let's talk about last Wednesday. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 closed with fresh record highs. The Dow gained 0.3%. Let's see here. But the Russell 2000 and the global Dow lost value. Right. So let's see why did that happen? Not only should you understand what happened in the market, but you should also understand why. It's always important to understand why certain things happen in the stock market. Right. It's very, very important to understand that. So basically, the minutes from the last Federal Reserve meeting showed that policymakers were still cautious about the economic outlook. They don't know what's going to happen, right? They don't know what's going to happen. And we're willing to remain patient about making changes to current stimulus policies, meaning that they don't want to increase interest rates too fast, causing turmoil in the economy or in the market, for lack of a better term. All right, we got Victor King. Shout out to Victor King. He said Stripe is soon to be an IPO. Wow, that's huge. Shout out to Stripe, the payment platform. Very familiar with Stripe. So, hey, that could be a new hot stock right there. Thank you for sharing that information, Victor. It's always important to share information. We're all in this together. We're on this wealth building journey together. I'm not your only teacher, right? You guys can also chime in, ask your questions. So let's talk about last Thursday. So we know last Wednesday, the stock market was, it was a bit mixed. Last Thursday, the Dow and the S&P 500 gave back gains from the previous day. Let's see, the global Dow went down 1.1%. The Russell 2000, let's see here, went down 1.0%. And then let's see. Yeah, the stock market has been pretty flat. It's definitely been pretty flat. So with that, let's look at what happened last Friday. Last Friday, stocks closed on a high note, so something positive there. All right, so each of the benchmark indexes essentially posted gains, and the Russell 2000 went up 2.2%. The global Dow went up 1.4%, and then the Dow went up 1.3%. All right, so we had a good day in the stock market last Friday. So let's see what happened overall. So otherwise, stocks closed last week with mixed returns. It was very, very mixed, right? It was very, very mixed. The NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500. By the way, the S&P 500 is composed of the top 500 stocks, the top 500 companies in the U.S., right? Closed out the week ahead, while the global Dow and the Russell 2000 lost value. Let's see what all happened here. So far this year, the Dow Jones is up 13.93%, which is huge. That's a big gain. NASDAQ is up 14.07%, so shout out to the tech stocks. The S&P 500, composed of the top 500 stocks in the U.S., is up 16 16.33%. 16.33%. Right? Take a second to think about that. We're only halfway in a year, and the S&P 500 is up 16.33%. That's huge. That means if you're invested starting at the beginning of this year in an S&P 500 index, right, you'd be up 16.33% essentially. That means if you invested $100 at the beginning of this year, you would now have $116.33. That's pretty good. That's pretty good return on your investment. That's definitely pretty good return on your investment. And then if you had $100,000 invested, you now have $116,033 dollars basically, or $330, right? That's pretty good. I think that's a good return on your investment. To make $16,000 off a $100,000 investment over a 6-month time span, that's good. Of course, this is not guaranteed, but imagine if you had been invested, right? Had you been invested at the beginning of this year, or even last year, or even the year before that, S&P 500 over the past few years has been really, really hot. Really hot. So my advice to you is, if you're not invested in something, get invested. Like, get in the game into something, whether it be stocks, whether it be real estate, which we'll be talking about today, whether it be a life insurance, permanent life insurance policy. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Yvonne Badu, from Badu Life and Health Solutions, LLC. She's the CEO. And, of course, shout out to Rob Gill as well at Epic Wealth Strategies. Definitely appreciate everyone for joining. All right, federal funds rate is at 0%. So interest rate are at 0%. Few things to look forward to this week. Inflationary indicators are front and center this week. All right, with the latest reports on the CPI Consumer Price Index and the Producer Price Index, PPI for short. All right. And the CPI increased 0.5% in May and is up 5% over the past 12 months. The PPI rose 0.8% in May and has climbed 6.6% in May 2020. That means that we're heading, inflation is basically, right? Inflation pressure is clearly on the rise. So prices, right? So basically, inflation has been on a rise because of the PPI Producer Price Index and the CPI Consumer Price Index. So that's something just to note, that things may be a little expensive. All right. So with that, let me get a comment. We got a question here. Shout out to Bevan. My guy Bevan. Let's see. Bevan Joseph said, my guy Jeff, at the Greenwood Project, we teach our students not just the fundamentals about investing, but also the macroeconomic conditions that affect the markets. That's awesome. Definitely appreciate you for that initiative. Shout out to Bevan Joseph on that. All right. So with that, let me get a quick plug before we get into the topic. Definitely thank you everyone for tuning in. So if you're just now joining us, welcome, first of all. You're listening live to my show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money, on WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. Just a reminder to check out our website at WGHCradio.org. Once again, that's WGHCradio.org, where you can listen live. You can listen live right now and also make a donation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And also sign up for our email list and much more. All right. So let's get into the topic today. I'm very, very excited in talking about how to buy your first investment property with no money down, right? Potentially no money down. Now, one thing to note, it's always good to have money in the bank, right? The decision between having money in the bank and not having money in the bank, you should have money in the bank no matter what. So anybody listening right now, should you start off with, in real estate with some money in your bank? I think you should. You should start off with something, right? Start off with something. However, there's a myth that you need a lot of money to get started in real estate. It's a complete myth. It's 100% myth. As a matter of fact, you can get into up to a 4-unit building, apartment, a building with 4 units, apartment building, with no money down, essentially. 0% down payment. Right? 0% down payment. So with that being said, when it comes to wealth building, it's all really a game in a way, right? It's all about knowledge. It's all about education. It's all about equipping yourself with the right information. So today, I'm here to talk to you about how to buy your first investment property up to a 4-unit building with 0% down payment. And if you're excited, right, so we're on the radio, WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. We're also live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. Let us know where you're listening from, and then just give us a quick like, heart, whatever it is. If you can share this, it's always greatly appreciated. So it's always greatly appreciated when you can share this type of information with your peers, with your friends, whatever it is. So it's always nice just to get, just to make sure that everybody is getting this information. All right. So we got Ashley Levi. She said, I'm listening. Absolutely. Yeah, just let us know where you're listening from, and get a notepad if you don't have one already. Absolutely. And Jockeys, yeah, absolutely. Putting the likes and the hearts, definitely appreciate that. All right. So this is called an FHA, Federal Housing Administration loan. FHA loan. The Federal Housing Administration loan allows you to buy up to a 4-unit residential building with as little as 3.5% down payment. And what happens here is they have government subsidy programs. They have government programs such as we have IHDA, Illinois Housing Development Agency, so IHDA, and then you also have NACA, NACA. If you go on these websites, IHDA, and then if you go on NACA, NACA, literally go on Google right now and search those things. So those are more for Illinois residents. So if you're in Illinois, go ahead and search that. They have programs where you literally sit in a class for a few hours on a Saturday. Yes, that's something you have to commit to. It's all about taking action. It's all about wanting to do this stuff. What I'm talking to you about tonight is not a handout. It's not something you can just kick your feet back, relax, and then the building falls in your lap. No. Right? I didn't say this would be easy. I didn't say this won't require time. I didn't say this won't require effort. I said how to buy your first investment property up to a 4-unit building with 0% down payment. I didn't say it would be easy. Can anybody do it? Absolutely. You have to put your mind to it, and you have to pay very close attention to what I'm telling you today. All right? So Ashley is asking for the website. So we have IHDA, I as in igloo, H as in hope, D as in dog, A as in apple, IHDA. And then you also have NACA, NACA. Just search that. You can feel free to go on Google, wherever it is that you usually search. And these are programs. Like literally go on the website right now and read the website. And it would tell you that they have programs available that allow you to buy up to a 4-unit property with no money down. And yes, thank you, Janae, for putting that in the chat. All right, Vincent, definitely appreciate that. IHDA and NACA, absolutely, NACA. All right, that's for Illinois. They have similar programs in your respective cities or states as well. Very, very similar programs. It's just that I like to use Illinois as an example because, first of all, I am, based in Illinois. So these are programs where you can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building, a big, giant building, with as little as 3.5% down payment, where the down payment can be subsidized by the government through this program. They will fund your down payment. Right? They have programs. And I've even heard the Biden administration talking about they're giving out a grant of about $20,000 towards a first-time home buyer. I won't rely on that information right now. What you can rely on are sites like NACA, NACA, and then you can also rely on IHDA, right? That you can rely on right now. I always find it interesting when somebody asks me, Hey, Jeff, what do you think about the stock market? What do you think it's going to do 6 months from now, a year from now? The answer is I don't know, right? Do I think it will go up? Probably, based on historical trends. But I don't know exactly what will happen. So I don't know if the Biden administration would get a grant of I believe it's $25,000 approved for first-time home buyers. I don't know that. What I do know, use information you do know right now as we speak, and that IHDA does have a program for you. NACA does have a program for you where you can buy up to a 4-unit building, a building, right, that has 4 apartments in it. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not to sound like LeBron, but 4 apartments in it. With this program, here are the rules. First of all, you need about a 620 and above credit score, which isn't the highest credit score in the world, right? 620 and above. If you don't have that credit, do some credit repair, go through a program. Check out our website, BaduEnterprises.com, for a credit repair resource. Once again, that's BaduEnterprises.com. We have a resource on there to do some credit repair if you need that. So if you don't have good credit, repair it, go through the process, get it up to at least a 620, and you'll be approved, right? So thank you, Vincent, for giving us a summary. This is awesome, right? That means people are paying attention. And get a notepad, right? This is very, very important information. So you need a 620 or above credit score. Secondly, you need a debt-to-income ratio. You need income. You don't have to be a W-2. You can be a business owner. You need decent income. Your debt-to-income ratio ideally should be below 40%, meaning if you have monthly debt payments of $400, so your student loans, your car note, anything that's in your name, monthly debt payments is $400. Let's just say hypothetically, your monthly income based on your tax return, adjusted gross income, or your pay stubs, your monthly pay, it needs to be at least $1,000. So $400 divided by 1,000 equals 40%, right? It needs to be that or below. So try to have a debt to income ratio that's below 40%. What happens if you have no debt? Well, technically, you don't really need any income, right? Of course, I would hope you are making some type of income if you're looking to buy a house. But if you have zero debt, zilch, nada, zero debt, technically speaking, you don't really need any income, but they will take a smart lender at least. Not all lenders are created equal. That's one thing I've learned. A smart lender is going to take the income from the property because this property may have 3+ tenants in there. They'll take the income from the property, and they'll also take the monthly mortgage amount. So let's say your mortgage is $2,000 a month, but the income is $3,000. Well, technically they should credit you $3,000 on your income side and then $2,000 against your debt, right? So technically, that's what we're looking at. They usually would count the mortgage payments, but they would also include the income that you're making. So ideally, when you factor in the income of the property and also your monthly debt payments plus the mortgage of the property, it should be below 40%, roughly. All right, so debt to income ratio should be below 40%. You don't need a W-2, so you don't have to be someone who has a job, basically, right? You have to have income, whether it be business income, self-employment, car rental, whatever it is, whatever you deem as income. And if it's non-stable income, it needs to be at least 2 years. So you need to have at least 2 tax returns of that quote-unquote unstable income because we're business owners, apparently. So it's a little nuances. Always get in touch with a lender to make sure that you dot your I's, cross your T's when it comes to this. So first thing, and thank you, Vincent, for summarizing everything, 620 and above credit score. You also want to make sure that you have a debt-to-income ratio, DTI, of less than 40%, roughly. And then you need to this gets debatable. So let me just say it. You need to claim one of the units as your primary residence. You need to claim one of the units as your primary residence, right? Meaning that you have to have your address basically show as your primary residence. Now, some people may have a secondary residence, right? Secondary residence. So, Vincent, if you don't mind just posting in the chat, another requirement is claiming it as your primary residence. Well, what if you have a secondary residence? Is that okay? You know? So, a secondary residence. So, ideally, right, they want you to claim it as a primary residence. And some people, what they do is while they're not at their primary residence, they may Airbnb the property, which is completely okay, right? Because it's still your primary residence and you are doing the Airbnb thing. And thank you, Janae, too, for summarizing this. She said, 620 and above credit score, debt to income ratio below 40%, and then claim one of the units as your primary residence. Absolutely, that is exactly correct. And Vincent also got that information correct. So remember, this is four units. One of the units can be the primary, has to be claimed as a primary residence. Right, so just keep that in mind. Even if you claim it as your primary residence, you still have 3 tenants that can pay your mortgage, your bills. Right, your mortgage and your bills for you. So typically we use the $100,000 rule. And that each unit should be roughly about $100,000. So if you're buying a 4-unit building, it should be about $400,000. All right. So if you're buying a 4-unit building, it should be $400,000. A $400,000 building, let's say on the south side of Chicago, and let's say Auburn Gresham, is going to make you about $4,000 a month in monthly rent and monthly income. And then your mortgage plus all expenses are going to yield you about $2,000 a month. Worst case, $2,500. So that means your net income, your net cash flow is going to be $1,500 to $2,000 per month. I would say that's what I would aim for. If I'm buying a 4-unit, I'm aiming, and assuming I'm using an FHA loan, Federal Housing Administration loan, I'm aiming for $1,500 to $2,000 a month in net cash flow. And Ashley asked the question, is this the home buyer or is this the home buy and home program? Yes, absolutely. You know, so NACA, NACA, or IHDA are programs that can help subsidize your down payment if you don't have the money down. My advice, if you do have the money down, go ahead and put it down, because these programs aren't the easiest. They do want you to do some stuff. They want you to sit in the classroom for about 4 hours. Right? They want to assign you a counselor, someone who's going to counsel you throughout the process, and you have to meet with them, whether it's virtually, whatever you decide. And then there's just more paperwork in the process. Absolutely. So remember, you can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building with a 3.5% down payment FHA loan, which stands for Federal Housing Administration. And if you don't have the down payment, then you can go to supplemental sources such as government programs, down payment assistance programs, IHDA, or NACA if you're in Illinois. If you're in a different state, different city, they all have programs, similar programs available for you. Right? So just keep that in mind. When somebody tells me, hey, Jeff, I don't have enough money to get started in real estate, I'm like, you might want to think twice. I have this in article form, by the way, on my website, which is jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com, jeffbadu.com. And also in my Infinite Wealth course. I have an Infinite Wealth course that was just released. If you're on Instagram, the link is directly in my bio. And today's special, if you enter the code WEALTH, once again, the code WEALTH, you get 15% off. The offer does not last forever, so just take action. Always take action, by the way. If someone says, hey, you know, I have information for you, All you have to do is ask, and you trust and it's credible information, just do it. Just do it. All right, so I encourage you to check out the Infinite Wealth course. It is in my, if you're on Instagram, it's directly in my bio. We're doing a special. Type in the code WEALTH, and you get 15% off on the course. If you need a direct link to the website or to the course, let me just type it in the chat here. It is jeffbadu.thinkific.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.thinkific.com. If you missed that, don't worry. I'm typing it in the chat right now on Instagram, and then I'll also be typing it on Facebook. I encourage you to check out the Infinite Wealth course. Mary Rose says, is this available on my website? Absolutely. My website does have infinite resources on there, and thank you, Yvonne, for posting a link. Let me go ahead and pin that comment. Absolutely. All right. Always appreciate that. So let's see here. All right. Let me go ahead and get that in there. So basically, if you type in jeffbadu.thinkific.com, you can get directly to the course website. And remember, we're doing a 15% special today for everybody that's listening. All right, this is all just for you. It won't last forever, so just keep that in mind. Part of what I'm talking about today is covered in that. If you're looking to build long-term, sustainable, infinite wealth, then you definitely want to check that out. I just posted the link directly on Instagram. It's also in my bio. Type in the code WEALTH. You get 15% off. So just something to keep in mind. And let me go ahead and make sure I pin Yvonne's comment on Facebook. So thank you for everyone listening on Facebook as well. All right, Infinite Wealth. And tomorrow night, if you're interested, we're hosting a webinar on the 3-step wealth building process or formula, where one of these includes real estate. One of the 3 ways that we believe you should be building wealth is through rental real estate. So tomorrow night from 6 to 7 p.m. Central on Zoom, we're doing a webinar. Feel free to text the number 773-819-5675. Once again, 773-819-5675. And type in wealth, right? RSVP the word wealth to that number, 773-819-5675. From 6 to 7 p.m. Central tomorrow, we're doing a free webinar, free event on a 3-step wealth building platform or formula. So let's get back to the topic. Let's do a recap. You can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building. I kid you not. Anybody can do this that's on this call. And thank you, Janae, for posting that. The number, 773-819-5675. Absolutely. You can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building utilizing what's called an FHA loan with 3.5% down payment. And if you do not have 3.5% down payment, then you can utilize a down payment assistance program through sites such as IHDA, governmental agencies such as IHDA or NACA if you're in Illinois, NACA. So if you don't have the down payment, you're like, Jeff, I'm dead broke. I don't have any money. Check out these down payment assistance programs. At a minimum, they'll start working with you. Even if you don't have it, they'll at least look at your situation and see how they can help you. You've got to be super hungry when it comes to the resources. Because if you're not, guess what happened? Last year, COVID, I heard part of these programs took a pause. Thankfully, they're back, at least, basically as of beginning of this year, late last year. They took away some of these programs when COVID happened because the world was panicking. Nobody knew what happened. Right? So with that, you always want to take advantage when it comes to this information. It's not going to be here forever. If you're like, I've always wanted to get into real estate, but I don't know how, this right here, rewatch the recording. Right? Rewatch the information. If you need help, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you out. Happy to answer any questions you have. You can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building. We can build long-term sustainable wealth by simply taking advantage of the FHA loan program, utilizing a 3.5% down payment and the down payment can be fully subsidized by the government through programs such as IHDA or NACA, NACA. All right. And thank you, Vincent, for recapping. He said you can buy up to a 4-unit apartment building utilizing an FHA loan with a 3.5% down payment. If you don't have the down payment, then IHDA or NACA can help. Absolutely. All right, so don't miss out. Don't miss the wave. We can all build wealth together. People are talking about, hey, so-and-so race is buying up the whole South Side. Well, why shouldn't you be buying up the South Side? What's stopping you? Money? Well, that shouldn't be your excuse anymore. We've just overcome that challenge today. Maybe it's your credit score, which is understandable. Well, do some credit repair. Go through a program to do some credit repair. Check out BaduEnterprises.com. Once again, that's BaduEnterprises.com for a resource on helping you rebuild your credit. All right, Victor King says, are these programs catered to certain income levels? I mean, I would say, yeah. Technically, if you need this program, first of all, you're somebody who would be in need. You know, so maybe someone who's earning less than 6 figures, probably, right? So if you're earning above 6 figures, you probably don't need this program. You don't need at least a down payment assistance program. If you're earning, let's say, maybe $50,000 a year, which is very, very modest, which is pretty good, then yeah, you would qualify, technically. So we're not talking about skyrocket income levels, you know, in order to be disqualified, right? So essentially, just make sure that you truly need this program. If you're someone who knows you got the cash, you can put down 3.5%, then go ahead, put down 3.5%. Nothing wrong with that. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. All right, Janae says, what options do you have if your debt to income is over 40% due to student loans, but payments haven't started yet? Yeah, that's an awesome question. I would say, first of all, you need to be reaching out to a lender because the thing is, if your payments haven't started yet, then technically they can't really hold it against you. In my opinion, at least. If I'm a lender and I'm reviewing your file, I'm like, well, if she has no payments on her student loans, then how can I count that towards her debt to income ratio? That's just me, just from a sensible standpoint. I hate using the word common sense because clearly it's not so common anymore. You know, but if I'm looking at your statements and I see you have no required minimum monthly payments on your student loan, it's similar to a credit card where it's like, okay, well, then why do I have to count that against her? All right, so talk to a lender, explain the situation. 2 things you can do as well: increase your income or try to reduce your debt. And I know student loans, it's a little hard. Maybe ask them to do a repayment program based on your income so that it can be below 40%. Right? So restructure the payment so that it is below 40% and talk to your lender and let them know that hey, this is the situation. I've met lenders who are very flexible. Not all lenders are created equal. Right? Not all lenders are created equal. You have to work with the right person. And if you need somebody, just let me know. Shoot me a DM. I'll be sure to refer you to some good people that I know that will look out for your best interest. They'll fight with you all the way to the end of you buying your home. And then also a real estate agent. If you need a good real estate agent, a realtor, let me know. They don't charge you anything for representing you as the buyer. It's free. You know, so it is free to have a buyer, a realtor represent you as the buyer because the seller is the one that pays them. I didn't even know that when I was starting out. Nobody had even bothered to tell me that a real estate agent does not get paid by the buyer. Literally, the buyer doesn't come out of pocket on the agent. It's instead the seller that pays the agent. I have articles on my website, by the way, jeffbadu.com, that talks about this topic. All right. And Victor King says, how long do you have to live in the primary residence of your first home? To my knowledge, you have to intend to live in the property within 60 days. I personally haven't read anywhere that says how long you have to live in there, but you have to intend to live in there within the first 60 days of the loan. Take it for whatever that means, right? So remember, that's a debatable topic. Use judgment when it comes to that. I would say that there's always ways around different things. So that's what I've heard, right? I go through this process with clients. I go through this process personally, and they tell me all sorts of things. You know, some people say, yeah, you have to live in there for a year. Some people say 6 months. Some people say, yeah, it's just 60 days. Officially, I believe that you have to intend to live there within the first 60 days. Intend, by the way. All right, so Raven says they asked me to reach out to my student loan finance company to stop deferment and bring them the estimate after deferment. Wow, that's pretty brutal. That's very, very brutal. So in that case, I would say reach out to your student loan company and restructure the debt. Like redo the repayment process, basically. And I know that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but at least try to get your DTI, your debt to income ratio, below 40%. Talk to your lender, right? Remember, talk to your lender. If you want, share this video with them. I don't mind, of course. This is public information to the people. So yeah, talk. Have a conversation. Have a real conversation. Have a sit down with your lender. Explain to them everything that's going on. And that's my take when it comes to that. And then, or try to boost your income. Try to find additional sources of income, and that way you can show it to the lender and say, hey, my income has gone up. All right, Jackie says, let's see. You mentioned that there's a cap in income to qualify for the program. Yeah, I would say, so FHA, technically, to my knowledge, there's no like hard, you'd probably have to be making like somewhere $200,000, $300,000 a year, which at that point, you may not even need an FHA loan. But for the NACA program, the IHDA, the Down Payment Assistance Program, I would say if you're making above 6 figures, probably not the best fit for this program, right? But you'll never know until you ask. You will never know until you ask. You will never know until you go on these websites. You will absolutely never know until you take action. So I'm giving you the information right now. Now it's up to you to use this information you've learned and do whatever you want with it. I'm just here to give you information. You can today decide to do nothing and say, oh, well, this may come about tomorrow or next year. Or you can take proactive steps to reach out to a lender if you know one, and a real estate agent or a realtor if you know one. Or you can reach out to me. The choice is yours. Doesn't affect me personally. I'm just here to help. That's it. I'm just here to help you. I'm here to help you achieve your dreams. I'm here to help you achieve your financial goals. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. Once again, my purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. And that's it. That's all I'm here to do. Whether it's listening to this, whether it's a course, whether you're signing up for services, whether you're in my inbox, DM, whatever it is, I'm here to help you. Remember, check out the Infinite Wealth course. Type in the code WEALTH, once again, code WEALTH, to get 15% off on the course for listening today. And tomorrow we'll be hosting an event called the 3-Step Wealth Building Formula on Zoom that you can feel free to check out. Shoot a text to 773-819-5675 to RSVP. Once again, 773-819-5675 to RSVP. All you got to do is type in wealth or text wealth to that phone number. So remember today, for probably the 100th time, I've told you guys how to buy an apartment building, a 4-unit building, with as little as 3.5% down payment, where the government can fully subsidize it, meaning you buy it with no money down. Yes, it is possible. No, this is not a scam. With that, my name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously and consistently delivering you all some content. Thank you.
Get started.